I want to talk about product innovation today. When startups work on new products, there are usually significant research and development costs and risks that needs to be shouldered by its customers, especially by its early adopters. In the case of Tesla, early adopters are those who are buying Tesla right now. I've made quite a few videos about Tesla so far, and if you have been a long-time viewer of this channel, you know I'm a big supporter of Tesla, and I've said a lot of great things about it. But don't get me wrong, some of the problems of Tesla could be frustrating. I'm by no means denying or dismissing those problems of Tesla: misaligned car doors, production delays, cars shipped with defects. If any of those problems happen to Toyota, you might be seeing their CEOs holding press briefings apologizing to its customers already. Hence, I'm not here today to convince you to my point of view, but simply, I want to show you why these things happen to Tesla, and most importantly, why it is the nature of any great innovation. Remember this diagram I showed you in my previous videos? In that video, I explained how Tesla pays for its products. On the tip of the pyramid is Tesla's Model Roadster, which is the first car built by Tesla. It is also the first great sports car powered by electricity. Tesla sold 2,500 of those. With the money made from Roadster, Tesla went on to develop its Model S, which is the safest sedan ever built, priced at around $80,000 to $140,000. With that money made from selling Model S and Model X, Tesla went on to develop its newest mass-market sedan, the Model 3. Obviously, the idea is that the Model 3 would be a sweeping success and Tesla recoup all the money it has invested in the previous models. That sounds like a great plan, right? Making relatively more expensive cars and sell them out to fund a cheaper mass-market car. However, what I simplified in that explanation was that those revenue made from selling previous models would not be enough to fund newer cars because automobile industry is a heavy industry. And by definition, heavy industry requires a lot of investments upfront. The supercharger networks, the Gigafactory, the upcoming factories in Europe and Shanghai, these are just a few examples of the required investment. Because of this, Tesla needs tens of billions of dollars to make it work. So what happens is that these costs needs to be absorbed partly by customers, partly by investors. When Tesla made its initial public offering in 2010, it raised money. The $10,000 deposit for Model 3 is another way to finance Tesla's ventures. Lastly, selling cars at a premium price is also required. I'll give you an example. When Model S was launched in 2012, an 85 kWh Model S cost $77,000 to purchase, and now in 2017, the 85 kWh model is discontinued. However, the 75 kWh Model S is still $74,000. So it's safe to say that the price of a Tesla Model S has not dropped since 2012. However, if you take a look at the most expensive part of a Tesla car, its battery, the price of it has dropped significantly since 2012. In 2012, the cost of battery per kilowatt hour was $642, which means a cost of more than $54,000 just for the battery alone. And now that the price of battery is around $200 per kilowatt hour, a 75 kilowatt hour battery inside Model S should cost only $15,000. That's a whopping $40,000 difference. But you don't see it reflected in the price of Model S. Why, you might ask? Innovation and disruption requires a lot of investment in R&D. That's why Tesla needs the new Model S owners to absorb part of the cost so that millions of us could buy Tesla Model 3 at a much cheaper price. That made me think of a book I've read a long time ago called Diffusion of Innovation by Everett Rogers. In that book, Rogers proposed his famous theory of innovation, which analyzed the way we adopt new technologies. He segmented people into 5 different categories: the innovators, the early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, as well as the laggards. And by definition, the innovators and the early adopters needs to shoulder significant risks. In the case of Tesla, the innovators are the ones followed Elon and believed in the potential of a fully electric future. The early adopters are the ones who have bought the Model S or have pre-ordered the Model 3. In terms of the former, as I explained, the owners of Model S might be paying quite a premium for their cars. And for those who pre-ordered Model 3, they are also making compromises, such as the $1,000 deposit and the long waiting period to get the car for up to 2 years. It comes to show how much faith people have for Tesla. Early adopters willingly take these risks not because they are mindless enthusiasts, but because they know EVs are going to be the future. Not only this, they're going to influence their neighbors to do the same, whom will become the early majorities of the new technology. This is the power of the early adopters. They're absolutely critical for the success of Tesla. Hence, going back to the beginning of the video, are there going to be problems surfacing about Tesla? Yes, because it is walking on a path that no one has walked before. Is it possible that the future Model S's and Model 3s will have less problems? Most probably, because soon Tesla will have figured out how these things work and the production would become steady. But should this stop us from buying a Tesla right now? Absolutely not. Because we've already looked into the future. Hate to say this to the haters, but the future is electric. Alright, thank you guys for watching. As a supporter of Tesla, I've watched quite a few videos made by Ben. He has hands down one of the best Tesla channels on YouTube, and he has made a few comparison videos on used Model S versus new Model 3. So I want to add one new category to his comparison, which is technological improvements. On the top of my head, I can think of at least 3 pieces of technology that run in favor for newer cars. The LiDAR that scans the surrounding of the car, the NVIDIA GPU that processes those images to keep you safe, as well as the lithium-ion battery. All 3 technologies have been improving at an exponential rate in the past 2 years, which means that newer cars could have significant performance leaps than its previous versions. So this is just some thoughts of mine when I'm making this video. So, do you think the performance of the Tesla battery could experience even bigger improvements in the future? Let me know in the comment down below. Again, I'm Lei. See you guys in the next video. Peace.